Oh, a superhero. You know, I'd be someone with superpowers like in a movie. If I could fly, so I can fly to all of these interviews all at once. So then I don't have to be late because it's so hard going to all these places. But yeah, I just want to do lots of things. So I'd probably be a superhero or make like 3 versions of myself. One on a film set, one in a concert, and one on TV. Okay. So I can do all these things. Well, the 90s in electronic dance music was a huge era for me. It's when I was born, and this song came out when I was 8 years old. But when I grew up, you know, in the clubs, this song was still playing, and I fell in love with dance music in the underground scene and in the LGBTQIA plus community, and it was really incredible. I felt really included and I felt super safe, and so doing this song was a real personal song for me because I used to be like sweaty, no makeup, dancing in the clubs, and you know, I missed that feeling, and so I wanted to bring Fatboy Slim back because in my mind he never disappeared in the first place. I met Norman Cook actually at Glastonbury Festival, and I was really excited. I went backstage and I met him and I told him how much I loved him and how I'd really like to work with him. And then I left this festival and wrote the song and messaged him and I said, look, I know this is crazy, but if you like this, I'd love to feature you on this song with me. And he loved it, and I thought that was amazing, and he just thought it was flattering that somebody did that, which surprises me because I thought somebody would have tried to take that song from ages ago. In the 90s, I miss rock and roll. I miss Oasis. I miss all the rock and roll sort of behavior. I miss kind of like people just being more free, being more careless on stage. You know, I miss music being like its own thing and not just being a headline or it being sort of like a gossip thing on websites. I just miss the overall community that music used to have. And I just, you know, I'm very grateful that my feeling was the Spice Girls in 1999. That was my first concert. I was 9 years old. And that was before like the internet and social media. I mean, the internet was going, but I mean like, you know, streams and social media. And it was great because people had to go to the show to see them. So yeah, that's what I miss. Oh, I have so many dreams, like a dream list, you know, like No Doubt, Andre 3000. I met Dolly Parton recently. I'd love to do something with Dolly. Something a bit unexpected, you know, like with really cool musicians and, you know, like Babyface or someone that just has a long sort of history in music, like Bruce Springsteen, Eric Clapton. Just something that's like, whoa, I did not expect that. What's cool about this album is that I was just experimenting. I own my masters and I wrote every song on this album. I was really dedicated to being the best songwriter that I could be with some help from other songwriters. And I wanted to just like feature people that made sense for the story rather than just trying to like be in a trend. And so I have this song called Shape of Me that features Keith Urban, for example, a huge country artist, which is crazy because I've never done country music. And the song, I didn't realize it was country until Keith got on the song. So anyway, and then Fatboy Slim, and Tyka's making a feature on the album, my husband, like with his voice, which I thought was really cool, for You Only Love Me. And yeah, am I missing anyone? For now. And then there's lots of really cool DJs doing remixes and stuff. I think in a weird way, Eyes Wide Shut with Nicole Kidman, not that it's a horror movie, it's just kind of like psychologically trippy, is one of my favorite films, I think, in the world of darkness and psychological thriller. Horror-wise, oh gosh, I do love a good horror movie. Anything like with religion and like priests and like weird exorcisms is weirdly my fave. So like The Conjuring and all that kind of stuff. Cloverfield is really good too. Alien horrors, I'm not like that. I don't really care that much about. But I like the ones that are really crazy in the brain, like Silence of the Lambs and psychological thrillers. You know, I think Don't Think Twice was such a crazy song to write because, yeah, it's exactly about that. It's like, don't think twice. Try not to doubt your decisions and maybe just try. If you go for it, you never know what's on the other side. And that had a lot to do with my relationship and diving in with my husband and just kind of going for it because I never really done that before. And I guess that was my biggest fear, just jumping in the deep end. I was always very cautious and trying to control everything. And so, you know, sometimes you just can't control things and you have to just go. Yeah, you know, if it's the right character and the right script and everything makes sense, 100%. You know, I know that there's a lot that he's also working on and I'm working on, and so the projects just have to they have to align and be the best for both of us, especially because we're doing it together, so it has to be really good. Great question. I think my favorite song is Party All the Time, which is an Eddie Murphy sample. And there's another song called You and I, which I wrote the day after I got married and I was very hungover. And I didn't know if I was gonna make a good song because my head was like, oh, banging. And I went into the studio and actually I made my favorite song because I had no filter. You know, sometimes when you're hungover, you just kind of like say what you want and you're just very like, it was like that. So I was really actually impressed that I had done something with that mindset. You know, I think I would say just hold on. It's like only beginning, you know. It's all going to be okay because, you know, when you have one triumph, you want to do it again and again and again. And you put lots of pressure on yourself to achieve the same sort of result. And sometimes life just doesn't work like that, and you have to just be grateful for the long period of career that I've had, you know, and the resilience and just sort of still being here. And, you know, I know a lot of singers that came out when I came out that are not out anymore, and I'm just really lucky. I'm grateful that I'm still doing what I love. My dream is to potentially put another album out next year and do a double album tour. So I'd love to tour both of the albums at some point next year. So I'd like to just, of course, come to Germany and just do a world tour. I love touring. It's my favorite part of the job. I'm thinking. Oh my gosh, I don't remember. My last concert was the Fontaines, rock band in Shepherd's Bush in London. Thank you for having me and supporting me, and I hope you like the album and the music, and keep being happy.